Hey. No.
And then, okay, we're live.
Awesome.
And we're going to be doing some Anatomy Monday stuff.
Yes. Anatomy questions, anatomy answers.
Yes. We are live there.
Nice.
Welcome, welcome if you're watching the VOD.
Oh, Apple.
Go ahead and say hi.
I feel like I came out from like a long hibernation. What's that? Apple, get off. Whatever. Hello, Lexi.
Hey, Lexi.
Bum, 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 bum. I need to warm up. I don't think I've only drawn like a little bit today. Hey, Apple.
Hey, Fico Riggs, Amy, Mia. Can you just pull them down?
Yeah, I'm trying to, but like now.
There we go. Applejack is trying to climb behind our blinds. Well, that's annoying. Welcome, Dahlia, Kai, Boxy. Hey, Midnight Cup, Shattuck Paradox, Lydia, Dahlia.
Hello.
How's it going? What has everybody been up to?
I'm ready, sort of.
If you can't behave, you can't stay in here.
There we go. Oh,
Just push him off.
jeez.
There we go.
He is being persistent
He
today.
is obsessed with getting behind the blinds. He's shredded the blinds in our hobby room.
Yeah.
He will rip apart any blinds that block windows.
Literally.
I have to armor every single window.
With more cardboard.
Faye, hello. Hello. Genesis, every time you message read Grand Blue, makes me want to read it less.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
The timing so good because I'm actually in need of anatomy research. Nice.
Yes. Feel free to ask what
Hi,
anatomy research
hi.
you'd like.
I don't know. I just see a period for your name. Hello.
We have a lot of people named Period.
Do you have any tips on drawing hands and different perspectives?
I guess that is kind of in the topic of anatomy.
We could
sort of.
do the basics of like blocking it out.
Yeah, we can do that. Maybe we
Maybe we
start-
just spend a little tiny bit of time on it because it gets
It does get kind of.
dry really fast.
Yeah.
Need help with arms, not gonna lie. Found out that watch your stream on YT, the screen is bigger,
Yes.
but my uni network does not allow to watch your stream. Rip.
Oh no.
Hey, Tuna. Hi, Draw Anime Academy. Hello,
Hi, Lau.
Lau. How's it going? It's going good. Nazatari.
Yeah, we could do arms and hands to kind of start it off. Not arm anatomy, but like maybe some arm breakdowns would be cool. What would your advice be for drawing better poses instead of boring ones?
Definitely study poses that you like. Definitely study poses that you like.
Yeah.
You can go on Pinterest. You can go online, and you're definitely gonna have preferences in terms of what kind of poses you enjoy. Do you like cutesy poses? Do you like action fighting poses? And every time you see a pose that you like, save the image, do a study of it.
Yep.
Like literally, that's what Christina does. That's how she has such a big visual library of poses, is because she just does studies of so many poses that she likes.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I like this pose. I'm gonna put a character in this pose, and that will count as like a little study. Yeah, we'll talk about some proportion and how to make it look fair. I would say that just comes with a lot of practice and repetition. I have a video that talks about proportion that you can memorize and then just do it over and over again. That's how I memorize proportions. You can also find out proportions in relationship to other parts of the body. Like, for instance, the elbow. For me, I know that it's around the bottom of this rib cage. So, like, I can just swing out from here and I'm like, oh, yeah, that feels about right. And I also know that my upper arm and my lower arm, excluding the hand, is like, oh, that's weird, is roughly the same length. So, like, that's kind of what I'm drawing right here. If you're drawing arms, like, this is a great way to break it down first, which is, like, through just simple proportions. Like, here's a line, and I just did an arbitrary line, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be the length of my upper arm, and then I'm going to take the same length and then move it down. And then afterwards, my hand is extra. So we're kind of hitting two birds with one stone here, with arms and hands. So then, like, you know, once you have this general
Restarting
proportion.
Photoshop.
Oh yeah, it was being annoying. For drawing bodies, is it better to use boxes or circles? Well, how do you use circles, first of all, and what do you mean by that?
Yeah, because a box is three-dimensional. A box. I like stuttered. A box is 3D. A circle is 2D. So they would be different things. So like, yeah, I guess what Christina said. Like, what do you mean by that? Do you mean like starting with a circle in order to get the position of parts of the body right? Come on, Photoshop, you can do it. You can start. I need to restart this PC at some point.
Yeah. So here's like simple proportion, and
Jeez,
then
bro.
here's like I'm simplifying it into rectangles. This is just to get like the general thickness, and then later on I then turn it into more of like a cylinder. This is how I prefer to draw arms. And so you're just, you know, using the same techniques.
Thank you also for, okay, there's that. Most times I make the lower arm longer than the upper arm, so that's why my drawing looks wonky.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, it's
That's good that
very
you
good that
noticed
you noticed, yeah. How do I prevent myself from drawing too much muscle, even though the character I'm doing are skinny? Simplify, like smooth things out.
Yeah, like you don't have to define the muscles.
Yeah, you
so
don't have
much.
to add so much definition.
Like
You
sometimes
know.
all that's needed is like, oh, here's a bit of a deltoid, and then that's it.
Yeah, like less of this, more of, you know, whatever. Smoother. There's going to be like less of that, right? So like if you're going to define it out, less of, I don't know, you know, this kind of thing. And more just kind of smooth. So like if you want to make it less muscular, you're not going to have as much like
Bumps.
pinching and overlaps and stuff like that.
Just want to ask why boxes and cubes are so important in anatomy.
They're not important in anatomy. They're important for establishing the three-dimensional space that your character is going to sit in, because a character is a three-dimensional object, and boxes are one of the simplest 3D objects. So if you can't draw a box or a cylinder, then attempting something like a complicated human body will be much more difficult.
Yeah.
I wouldn't particularly say they're important for anatomy, other than they give you a structure to build on top of.
Yeah.
It's like the frame of a house. Like, you'd never just start hanging pictures on the wall or putting flower pots out if you have no, you know, concrete and bricks or
Well,
boards.
it's
to
like
put
breaking
it
it
on.
down like this. You will see I use a lot of boxes in breaking down the figure, like rib cage, pelvis, and then you take that frame and then you add, you know, stuff on top of it like this.
It's the foundation of your house.
Oh,
Whoa,
that was weird.
That was weird.
Thank you for the heart me. So like I'm doing the same thing in here. Like I use cylinders instead of boxes, but you can totally use boxes for arms too. But like if I were to do a torso, like I would just use boxes. You know, here's a box, you connect the boxes so that becomes a bendy box.
Yeah, Christina just finished making a little clip on this.
Yeah.
Where is it on the iPad? Is
Oh,
it yesterday or the last stream, I mean?
Right, yeah, last stream. Like this.
Yeah, like you can see that this box right here is the foundation that this went on top of. It's the structure, the underlying structure.
Yeah.
I remember watching a tutorial where they mentioned circles are better to use for bodies instead. I have no idea who made the tutorial. Like,
Yeah.
anybody can upload a tutorial.
And I don't really know how
I
they
can-
use the circle. So.
I can, yeah, like, it doesn't give a lot of
Like,
information.
Do they use it like this? And then, you know, they draw legs like this? Like, I just cannot really picture it. It's really hard. It's hard for
Yeah.
us to do that.
I'm not like saying they're wrong or anything.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just there's no information on it.
Mm-hmm.
How can I tackle the arms overlapping and interacting with the sides of the torso or breast?
That would have to do with overlaps and perspective. Like, where is your shoulder located? For example, like for me, your shoulders move back and forth, And so like if I want to place my arm in front and over my body, like I know that I'm gonna have to extend my shoulder out. So I use a sphere to symbolize this, and then I just draw like cylinders on top. Oh. So like here's an arm
Oh,
that's
so it's
bent.
like this.
Yeah, like and that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, do you mean like overlapping like that?
Like it's going away from us?
Yeah, like it's going away,
Okay.
going away, going away, and then like maybe he's grabbing onto his shoulder or something.
You use a soft version of box to draw a body. Does that work? Yeah, a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
If it works good for you and it helps you with the next stages, then it's probably fine. Like a soft version of a box would be along the lines of like the pillow, which is sort of in between like a bean and a box.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a pillow could just be
Yeah.
right, and then you go, well, which way is this facing? You've seen me draw this a bunch of times, chat. Is it going like this? Is it going like this?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is it going... Maybe it's not even doing that at all. Maybe it's doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Notice how you
maybe-
use the same exact pillow for all of them.
Yep. Like this could be facing down. This is the top right here. This is the bottom right here. So like, yeah, I mean, all of them work pretty well.
If you want like parts of the body to interact, like the arm to interact with different parts of the body, there's gonna have to be like squish and tension. So like you'll generally see like, you know, a lot of tapering. You'll see like some kind of morphing like this, or tightening.
How do I start learning anatomy? I would recommend taking a figure drawing class.
Yeah.
First ask yourself the question, do you want to learn anatomical information and nerd out about the body? Or do you want to draw better looking people and characters? I would probably start with that question because that would determine like my next move. Like, do you want to nerd out about the body and learn all the muscle names? Or do you want to draw characters that look attractive? Draw better?
Yeah.
I would recommend taking a figure drawing class, like an analytical figure drawing class. You'll learn proportion, gesture, structure,
Stuff like
posing, but then you'll also learn the muscles that are like relevant to figures.
this. Yeah. We teach that in our school. And we teach that on our streams.
Yeah. Is the forearm better represented as a cylinder or a box? Both.
Both.
The forearm is kind of like a cylinder that turns into a box. It's kind of shaped like this.
It's like a bowling pin in a way, but like a very
Yeah.
subtle one.
Kind of like this. Your wrist is much more box-like, and your forearm, with where like your elbow is much more cylindrical. So it's I would literally say both. There's a lot because your radius and your ulna, right? Well, it would be on this side, but your radius and your ulna kind of sit parallel, so they sort of turn into a box, right? You've got like one and the other.
Those are the bones in your
And
forearm.
this very much is like more rectangular.
Is it an online school? If yes, can we have more information? Yes.
Yeah.
This is our anime art school program where we teach an analytical figure drawing and a lot of other classes that teach the fundamentals, so you can check it out here.
Yeah, it's basically just a big, giant, year-long online program that you can take at your own pace. You can check it out on there if you want to screenshot that.
Yep,
It'll
right
be the
here.
yellow button, but it does have a 12-week long figure drawing class in it.
Should I take anatomy in high school, or is that like different from looks and more sciencey?
I
I'd
mean,
say it's-
is it an art class?
If it's an art class, maybe, yeah.
Like, it's totally up to you. It's totally up to you, but I would say, is it like an anatomy, like an art class, or is it anatomy like a
Like a science
like
biology
a science
class.
Yeah, biology.
Most times I will draw bodies like this. I'll kind of think flat because it's easier, and then I'll turn them into forms. So like this is kind of like an advanced stick man. You know, and I get my proportions out first and stuff like that. But like I don't even think about anatomy until later. So like I'll even simplify my legs as kind of like these little pieces of paper with a bit of wonk to them. And I'm trying to get things holistically.
It's like a science branch of biology. If you think it's interesting, then go for it. It's not going to make you better at drawing unless you actually draw.
Yeah.
What are you sneaking around for?
I would say if you want to get a lot out of it, you know, draw from the textbooks. You know, it may not teach art-wise, but you might as well like kind of get started on it.
Yeah. How to draw the male torso using bean method. How do I draw a hand? Do you think it's easier to draw separately to study, or you're not coming across the desk? You're staying over there. Come on, go to bed.
He's being a good boy now.
Well,
Sort of.
to be determined. Huh.
This is how I like to draw hands. Your palm is kind of like a rectangle, but it's a little bit more nuanced than that. It's more like a pentagon rectangle, and it's slightly curved. Your thumb pad is an extra triangle with a little orange slice. And then your fingers, you know, you can just kind of group them into like a little, like a squarish mitten, and then add your fingers inside. So like your middle finger will be right in the middle. And then, there we go.
I'm new. What y'all doing? Drawing.
Drawing.
Drawing. Yeah, I wouldn't count on a high school anatomy class to make you any better at drawing anatomy. Like, you would probably, like, you're much better off taking the easiest class you can find that the teacher doesn't care and bringing, like, figure drawing books to school and practicing them during class than hoping you will somehow get better at drawing by taking, like, a
Science class.
Science-y anatomy class, because like you don't get better at drawing without drawing. Like it is a requirement.
Yeah. This is Procreate.
Like you have to draw it. If you want to get better at drawing people, you have to draw people.
Yeah.
You can't like read or
Passively
watch a video
learn
or
it.
passively. Who was your inspiration growing up as an artist? I don't know. I was really, really, really bad and underexposed to artists and different things until I was like 18. So I guess if you consider 18 my growing up years, probably older than a lot of chat. Like Fang Zhu, like he was a big inspiration of mine. Scott Robertson. I got into concept art, ended up going to FZD and studying there. And that was like a big inspiration. I watched a channel on YouTube called Level Up, and they would invite tons of artists on. Craig Mullins, lots of just awesome, really, really high level artists. This is like 2014.
Wow.
What about you?
Growing up, for me, it was my dad. He got me to draw a lot. Art-wise, I mean, I was really inspired by a lot of like shoujo manga growing up. So like Clamp was a really big inspiration for me. Arina Tanemura stuff was a big inspiration for me. Manga in general. And then later on, as I got better or is starting to take more inspiration from like other artists, I think TB Choi, Reno Tuna, those kind of people really inspired me as well. Like their drawings are just great, you know.
Any tips on how to draw poses from imagination? Yeah, draw them a lot from observation.
Yes.
And study posing. Like, posing is a science.
Yeah.
Not like a high school science class science, but like there is a science to it. It's design, you know, like bend and stretch, simple and complex, gesture, counter shape. Like there is a science to posing.
Does your pose have a story?
Yeah.
You know, like this person's sitting on a ledge, but cutely because she's got like the pigeon toe look.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not positioned like this or like cross-legged. It's very specific. So poses can be, you kind of gotta dial it down a bit, you know?
Any tips on how to draw poses from imagination? Yeah, that is basically it. Like do a bunch from observation, do a lot of gesture drawing, And again, figure drawing classes a lot of the time will cover this
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Like, does your pose have bend and stretch, which is like, does your body have a stretch side and does your body have a bend side? You know,
Yeah.
this immediately looks more interesting than something that's just very static with waffle fries,
Yeah.
waffle abs, right? You know, this is good for one thing, but like this is like, oh, you got some action.
Accidentally stumbled on this channel. Will you be having an anime art style anatomy study in the future? Anime anatomy is real anatomy.
Yeah.
So this is all, like, any of these characters could be turned into anime characters easily.
This one can immediately be an anime character because I kind of proportioned it like that, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, that's what we do. Like, that's the main thing that we do all the time is foundation with the direction of people who want to draw in more of an anime style.
Yeah.
I'm talking like solid foundation, you know, perspective, figure drawing, design. Like, you look at something like, I don't know, Ghost in the Shell, or, you know, maybe you're inspired by like Cowboy Bebop, or you're inspired by like Akira Toriyama. Like, they had rock solid foundation.
They know how to draw.
They're super good at drawing, you know. And
then,
so
yeah.
they studied foundation for a really long time, and foundation is not style specific. Perspective is perspective. Like, there is no anime 1 point perspective. There's no anime 2 point perspective. It's 1 point. It's 2 point. It's fisheye lens. It's the bicep, the tricep, the pectoralis. Like, all of the muscles are the same. Like, you don't suddenly put like a bicep on the foot because it's anime.
No. We have a face inside view in on our TikTok, so you can go and check that out.
Yeah.
I don't think we're covering side views today because we are doing anatomy today.
Side views of what?
Side view of a face.
Oh.
I mean, if you want, you know, take a screenshot of this
Yeah.
and see if that helps. How can you tell if you made the torso too long or too short? I would say draw the whole entire body and see it holistically. You know, I would say too short of a torso can tend to look a bit too squished, like this. Might look a bit stubby with really long legs, which, you know, could be a really interesting body type. But like, if you want it like this, that's totally fine. Something that's too long could feel very stretched, like this. So if you have a torso that looks like that, maybe it's a bit too long if you want it to be more like realistic. And of course, compare it with your legs, right? This is great if you're gonna do character design. But another thing that I like to think about is your entire upper body is divided into 3 squares. If I can draw 3 squares, 1 second.
How do I get better without drawing? You're gonna have to find that somewhere else, because I've never encountered such a thing.
Yeah.
If you find it,
Let us know.
tell some scientists about it, because they'll want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So,
Procreate.
Yeah, it's Procreate. So like your upper body and your lower body, like including your legs, is roughly about the same height. So you can use that to check as well.
I'm an absolute beginner. Is it too early to think about anatomy before I'm good with perspective? You can take figure drawing classes and perspective classes at the same time. When you're an absolute beginner, my main focus would be to get mileage. Take your
Yeah.
general classes, like your general foundation classes, perspective, figure drawing, design. Like, I would say look at art schools that produce good level artists who accept beginners. What is their process? I went to a design school that allowed complete beginners to enroll, and almost the entire school was on dimensional drawing and perspective. Like, they were mostly geared towards just getting us a lot of mileage and having us learn how to draw in 3D.
Yep.
We didn't have a figure drawing class, but it was like an industrial design school. It wasn't like an artsy school. But like, if you look at Art Center, they'll give you a figure drawing class and a perspective class in term 1. And they produce students who are phenomenal. Of course, they're not absolute beginners, but I would just say focus on mileage, and, you know, it doesn't really matter that much.
So yeah, you guys can screenshot this is like a general proportional system for the torso, like just for the torso only. I cover a lot of proportion in the school. So like this is stuff that I have you go through, and do figures using the system multiple times so that you can memorize it. So I also have a video on our channel that talks about how to draw bodies and breaking them down like that too.
Yep. And remember, art schools aren't the only way. Yeah, most art schools are terrible.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them are.
I would say a lot of them are not necessarily, they don't always have experts. A lot of them create programs that feel like, oh, well, a lot of people are interested in this, so we're just going to create a program that covers
like,
this. But they're not like hiring people who are actually.
You'd never want to go to an art school without doing thorough research and due diligence on the quality. Like that goes for anything, obviously. Like,
yeah.
You'd never want to make any important decision without doing some due diligence and research. That goes for anything, I would hope.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, how many people do you talk to who are just like in a ton of debt, at least in the States especially, and they graduated and they're like, yeah, I can't find work. And I talk to people and get a critique on my portfolio and they say I'm not very good, and like, this is crazy. They said that I would get good. So, so, you know, at your own risk.
At your own risk. Do a lot of research.
Yeah, there are phenomenal programs, and then there are programs that are not so phenomenal, and then there are programs that are phenomenal, but they're maybe not what you want, and so you go to it and get disappointed because you didn't look into it.
So,
let's see. Is it necessary to know how to paint? Is it necessary to know how to draw to paint? I feel like I am stuck. I like painting environments, but I want to draw complex backgrounds too. Are you asking if drawing is a prerequisite to painting? I would say yeah, like the underlying skill below painting is drawing. You don't have to be a master drawer in order to paint, but like you should, if you want to paint environments and backgrounds, you know, you should have the basics of drawing probably. Awesome, Lantern. I'm glad. You guys teach me new tricks every live I join. Thank you.
Thank you for watching us. You know, here's like multiple different types of thighs. I would say the proportion is, keep in mind of where your kneecaps are. Your kneecaps is from your pelvis down to your feet, and it's halfway. The bottom of your kneecaps is down here, and then basically your thighs are in this area. And a lot of the time your thighs generally have a thick to thin movement, so thicker in the top area and then gradually gets thinner towards the kneecaps. And so there's multiple types. There's like very thin thighs, which is like, you know, has a thigh gap. There's thicker thighs, which, you know, is more voluminous and has that thick to thin. And then here's like, you know, very bowed out. So like you can test it, but notice that all the thighs are kind of located in the same area. They're just different levels of thickness.
What's the basics of drawing? Line, shape, and form. Create, like, there's a lot of basics of drawing, you know. I would look up like the principles of design as well. But like, you got line, you got shape, you got form, and pretty much that's what you use. Like, I mean, a line, and those both can be broken down into just shapes, because like a line is a shape.
Yeah,
a
line
form
is
is made of shapes. Or line, mass, and form, sorry.
Yeah, line, mass, I should say mass and form.
You know, but like, there's a lot to the basics of drawing. Like, you could take a drawing class that lasts an entire year and you'll learn new things all the time. But like, I mean, we're not really doing a basics of drawing stream right now. We're doing more of like an anatomy focused stream.
Yeah, I would say you need a lot of this to create artwork. You know, like whenever I'm drawing all this stuff, I'm using line. I'm also using shapes, because I'm like, oh yeah, here's like a shape. And I'm using form. Oh, I'm drawing wrapping lines around this body. So it's just a combination of that stuff.
Yeah. Let me look.
Which brushes do you guys like to use the most? I like to use this brush, which you can get for free on our website here. What shapes do you use to break down anatomy and make drawing poses easier? Boxes and cylinders. That's it. Boxes and cylinders. Like, you'll notice that all this body is literally entirely made of cylinders for the most part, like excluding the body, but like it's everything is rounded out. In terms of the anatomy is just, I mean, muscles are just kind of blobs. Like, if you can draw a cylinder, for example, or a box, let's do a cylinder. And you can draw like a blob on top and have it wrap around the cylinder. You got a muscle. You know, here is like a bicep and a deltoid, and that like rolls over. So like you're basically, it's like a modified box or a cylinder. Like, for instance, the torso is a great example. When I'm drawing the pecs on a torso, oh, I'm like, I know that it's this trapezoid shape, but it has this kind of like boxy form around it, and it even has like a bottom side. So it's just more forms on top of like a box or a cylinder. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's hard to go from pencil and paper to graphics tablet. Yeah, a lot of people find it a little bit jarring, but that's totally normal. Everybody goes through it, and I know it was really, really weird for me. Like, oh my gosh, I remember very first doing digital art. It was so awkward.
It was very awkward for me too.
Especially when you like, I mean, it's a lot better nowadays, but when I started, display tablets were really expensive. And they didn't have iPads that you could like draw on, really. So I had this like little mini Wacom Intuos 3, and I was using that. At least I didn't know about any sort of like display tablets that weren't like thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm. Kind of new here, but I've been lurking in the live a bit. Welcome. I just joined the Discord. Can someone tell me about their schedule and stuff like challenges, etc.?
Yeah, we stream pretty much every weekday.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we'll take a weekend off, but a lot of the time we'll stream on the weekend as well. And then challenges are every other week. There's 2 challenges left because we're running them in seasons now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember when our challenges due. The Friday after this one.
Yeah.
So you pretty much have the full duration of the 2-week challenge left. It's in the Discord server under Spring Training Arc. You can go to challenge announcements, and my latest post, challenge number 3, is that. How do you draw these shoulders in perspective? Basically like that.
Well,
you can start with the diamond shape.
yeah.
Like it works really well.
Diamond shape that's kind of tilted forward. So it's like, this is the base that you start off with in terms of like a very low poly, and then you basically go like, oh, center line, split that, and you have a diamond in perspective, because this is like, your ribcage is slightly, the opening is slightly facing down. It's not exactly straight, like a Lego piece. That's why it's very difficult. So, and that's why your clavicle also has these like bicycle handle forms. It's like a bow. And then you got extra stuff on top. And then your shoulder goes around this.
You probably want to move that.
Yeah, I do want to move that. Boop. So your shoulder wraps around the back, the side, and a bit of the front. And it looks like that.
Thank you guys. Thank you for streaming so often. Great company. Awesome.
Thank
I'm glad
you.
you enjoy it. Yeah, we do stream a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Christine and I have streamed like thousands of hours over the last 2 years. You really just got to jump into it. If you're thinking about streaming, you can just do it.
Yeah.
Even Applejack streams a lot.
Look at him. Look at the silly Jack.
Can't really see him. There's his face.
I love how frequent these lives are. I always put them on while working on other stuff. Aw, thanks. I'm glad that we can be a part of your life like that. Any tips for practicing gesture poses? Yes.
David Finch is great. He's super good. I haven't really seen much of his content, but he's legit, like, very good artist. We saw him at Fan Fusion the other year. We didn't talk to him. I would trust any content that he puts out just based on his experience and level.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't personally gone through his content, really. He seems very nice.
Yeah, I have some gesture tips. Keep it simple. Like, you don't need to, the point of gesture isn't to get the anatomy in, it's just to get like what's the essence of the pose. And then sometimes you can use like lines, like, you know, you can use straights, curves, or S curves to show that. So like, you know, what's the pinch of the rib cage? What's it doing? What's the overall gesture? What are the legs doing? Is one leg straighter than the other? And one leg is bent? And I keep the gestures really simple like this first, just to establish my proportion and my vibe. And then when I'm done, I then add more nuances of form. And then this helps you to prepare for the anatomy part later on. But like if you're just going for the gesture part, like just this is enough. Like you just want the energy. But there's no like, there's no like right or wrong way to do it. People do gesture drawing in very different ways.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like I really like the way how Colton does gestures. He makes them look very fluid and stuff.
How do I do gestures?
I don't know. You might have some.
Oh, I probably have some in this. Where was it? Is it in practice share?
Yeah, that's the where it is.
There's one.
I don't know if we would say what level we are on. I don't really think that can be really measured. I wouldn't say I'm a level 100 or anything.
It's very difficult to measure level because there's so many different potential routes. Like someone could be the world's best like artist at drawing cars, and they would be extremely beginner at, say, landscape painting. There's just too many different potential directions. I would say, like for me personally, I'm like mid-level. Like if you're gauging in terms of like concept art, like I did mid-level concept work for props and backgrounds for years, and weapon design and stuff, but like character design, I never really did much character design. I didn't do it very much like vehicle design or anything like that. I'm not very good at portrait painting. Like there's too many directions, but there's kind of like a baseline. You know.
Ooh, another thing about gesture is try to find connections of all the limbs. Like notice that I drew this arch right here that's connecting this arm to this arm in a circle, and then I noticed that this arm kind of travels around to this leg right here, and so that's why the pose looks pretty seamless. You can try looking for those things as well.
Yeah. On the level question, like I mean, I feel like a complete absolute beginner next to someone like a Craig Mullins or a Reno Tuna.
Yeah.
You know, but then when I get hired professionally on a project, I'm just like, I can do this. Like that's not too bad. So, but it depends on the project. You know, it's like I don't know. I don't feel very good at all.
I feel like I could be better. You know.
I would like to keep learning and growing.
You already do hands? Not yet, actually. I can do a little bit of hands. Actually, I did do some of it here. Some people were asking how to do fingers. Once again, sheets of paper. It's not about the details or like little joints in here. It's about like what perspective is the finger in? Like how is it overlapping? Like are my fingers kind of bending outward a little bit? How are they segmented? And then once you figure that out, you know, you can add like little squishy bottoms and connect. And then you got fingers. Boop.
Yeah. We don't need to rapid fire all the questions like crazy. I'm getting tired.
Ooh.
Do want to be able to draw on the level of League of Legends splash arts. I have a friend that is doing splash art for League of Legends. His name's Terrence. I interviewed him on my old YouTube channel. He was an art director of one of my schoolmates. Nice dude. He wasn't doing splash art back then, but he's doing it now. I should try to get him back on the channel.
Does timing yourself matter when you are doing gesture poses? If anything, it just adds more stress to it.
Yeah, it's great. It helps you focus, get caught up in the weeds too little. It gives you, like if you do a timed gesture and you find that it adds more stress to it, it probably means you're focusing on the wrong stuff. Like if you're doing gesture drawing and it's timed and you're running out of time before you can finish the figure, try focusing on different stuff, like just the essence of the pose or just the general volumes. Like these are some of my, what are these, 1.5-minute figures?
2 minutes, actually.
Are they 2 minutes?
Yeah, they're 2 minutes.
Yeah, these are some of my 2-minute figures, like this one right here. And all these, like, these are just warm-ups from, like, the morning. And so you can see that, like, the only thing that I do is focus on the essence of the pose. And you can see that I didn't even manage to finish this one.
But you got the essence.
A lot of them I did. I kind of like how this one turned out here. It's an awkward pose, but I feel like it came out relatively okay. You see there's no muscles, there's no anatomy or anything. It's just basic, you know, basic structure. Maybe like, I don't know, a bend and a stretch. And you can have like, I don't know, the trapezius coming up. And there's the back of the head. You can indicate the angle of the head with the ear. You know, maybe this comes back towards us. So it's like, oh, a couple of wrapping lines to show that. Then maybe it goes back forward, a couple of wrapping lines. Like that's how I think about it. Like this is coming towards me. This is coming towards me. This is the bottom of the box of the booty.
The cake. Been here for like 10 minutes. Already learned a lot. Awesome.
You know,
Well,
maybe
tune in
we
for
could
more.
go.
Ooh.
Like what way do I want this to go? Maybe this one comes towards me. And this one goes away from me at the elbow. And maybe this leg.
I can imagine you kind of standing like pretty strong.
You know, maybe this one's going away from me. So I'm thinking with the legs, it's like one is coming this way. One is going that way. Wrapping line, wrapping line. You know, hamstrings. Or the calf coming out. Hammies.
Hammies.
Bicep femoris, I think it's called.
That's the only time where you would hear a bicep on the legs.
Yeah.
Is bicep femoris.
The bicep of the legs, yeah. Right? And of course, like, you could go and start adding more detail, like maybe a little indication of the scapula here and a little indication of the
Traps.
traps. But, like, I wouldn't generally go into this amount of detail if I'm doing just a gesture. Because if this is a gesture, maybe we go, oh, maybe like that, right? And go, it feels a little bit long.
And I would simplify that leg area right here, personally. Like
What?
this, and then that, and then this connects to the foot in a seamless line.
Yeah, like that?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. Like, that's probably how I would gesture out a pose like this. And if I'm all caught up here and be like, oh, the 7th cervical vertebrae and the this and, oh, the deltoid and, oh, this. And if this is supposed to be a gesture drawing, like, that's going to give me indications because my timer is going to go to this before I get anything done. And it's very helpful to have a timer because it tells you if you're continuing to think about the whole or not.
Would you guys do any more gesture workshops on the channel? I did the first one recently and loved it.
Gesture workshops?
The gesture workout, probably. That's what they mean. Because that's the only gesture workout that I did. With the one where I did it for 30 minutes.
Oh, the video.
I wouldn't mind doing more of them. They're,
Yeah, we
they're
could do
pretty
that at
nice.
some point.
If it helps a lot of people.
You know, and you do like 30 minutes of warm up, right? Let's just say 30 minutes. You do 15 of these and you do them before you start working for the day. It's a really good warm up.
Oh, you weren't sharing it if you
I
wanted
know.
to show it. Okay, that's
I
fine.
just wrote the number 30.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll do facial features today.
It's very contextual. Like, there's no answer that is true all of the time. It's completely based on context. So it's like, is there a time to do timed poses and a time to do not timed poses? Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think it would be great. Like, it's just when you're doing timed poses, it's usually because it's like, I gotta pay attention to this stuff. And if I don't finish, that's an indicator that I'm not paying attention to this stuff. Elbow. Yeah, the elbow lines up with the bottom of the rib cage.
Yep, right here. Kind of like where that waist kind of starts. It's a good observation. I find that timing myself also helps a lot because I'm like, oh, I know that where I get caught up at. It's stressful because you're like, crap, I can't get it all done. But then I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll come at it from a different angle. Maybe I'll focus on line of action first and then divide from there. And you know, the more that you do the time practice, the more you'll learn where you are kind of still working things out. Yeah, there's the hands. We have a few little breakdowns on hands. We also have TikToks on hands too, so you can check those out. Let's see.
Do you have any favorite rules to break in your art?
Ooh, that's an interesting question.
Like, quote, rules? I'll explain it this way. Professional artists and like painters are constantly looking for ways to break expectations. And a lot of the time, beginner artists will point decisions out that professionals make and think that they're mistakes or errors. Like, for example, or what is it? What was that thing that James Gurney was talking about? Like,
Fighting generic.
yeah, like fighting expectations, like
Yeah, fighting the obvious.
Fighting the obvious. Yeah, it's like he quoted some famous or some artist who was really good that was basically saying that he's always at a battle with like fighting the obvious. Like, what is the obvious thing you want to do? Like, oh, make the face the focal point, or put a dragon in the sky, or
Yeah.
And so I guess in terms of rule breaking, a lot of artists try to break expectations in an interesting and creative way. Maybe that could be considered that. I can totally see that. Like, you're not always going with an obvious answer. You're not always going with the generic or like most obvious solution. Like, I don't know, you know, make the face the focal point, or oh, leading lines here, or oh, things get lighter as they go further away from you. Like, a lot of artists don't do that.
I was just gonna say that one. Instead of a dragon, put a chicken.
Yeah. What do you do if a gamma ray burst incinerates you right now?
I
I don't know.
guess I'm dead.
It don't matter to me. Back in the day, if you went to school, you were basically guaranteed a job. These days, it's like school accidentally turned into another business. They exist to make money off of students. I think there's definitely a lot of truth to that. And I think that great teachers can go into schools that are not designed very well. I also think that the way that the industry is evolving is super fast, and large accredited school systems cannot keep up with changes.
To the world and stuff.
They're just not fast enough to keep up with changes. Like, there's a lot of stuff involved. And I mean, I totally agree as well. I mean, just look at, like, you know, people get appointed to different heads in schools and make money just kind of passively from it. Like, I don't know, a governor will appoint one of their buddies as like the head of a school board or some position. It's like nepotism or something, you know? Like, you get all these people who are making money off of certain positions that they have and they have no experience in that position, and they don't even do anything. They don't show up. They're never there. It's not like everywhere, but I guess it could be like everywhere,
happens.
but it's not every single position. It just happens. Yeah, I mean, the school system is a business. Like, why do you think that kids are told their entire lives they have to go to college? It's like literally college recruiters come by the high schools and are like recruiting students. Like, it's a big business. It's billions and billions of dollars. Not saying it never gets anybody any jobs, but it is a business. Someone's got to make a profit.
I think, you know, you're raised to think that college will get you a job as well. Like, it's just, you know, that's kind of the belief.
Yeah.
You know, and it's complicated.
I think one of the best solutions is just called due diligence.
Yeah.
You do your research before doing something. Like, that's, in my opinion, should be taught, but it's not really taught. Nobody's taught to like investigate things and look into it.
Well, it wouldn't be easy for the businesses to make money if, you know, people did their research.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think like the individual as you know, if they're like an adult or whatever, like the individual should be responsible for making sure that what they're going into actually has a good chance of getting them there. That's why I think it's like so disgusting that businesses will prey on children, you know, brainwash children since they're basically infants in order to exploit money from them later on.
Yep.
And I mean, you look into like the whole college debt thing, like that's a whole can of worms with like, you can't even declare bankruptcy to get rid of it. Like even in certain cases, like if the student dies, the debt gets passed on to their parents. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, it literally is crazy.
I thought that was
Modern
common
day.
sense. I did too.
Apparently not.
Yeah. But like, I just want to teach art. It's the main thing. Like, I just want to have fun and teach art and draw cool pictures. Like, I'm not gonna turn my life into like fighting something like that.
Yeah, I really
could
like
see
that
how
gesture.
I could see how people would.
How the heck did you do that torso? With a lot of practice. Take a figure drawing class. That helps a lot. That helps you to find a process that works for you. You know, I have a specific process that I use, and stuff.
Do I start with a line of action? You can. If you want.
Yeah, you can.
I would start by thinking about it. If you don't draw it, think about it, because that's the gesture of the pose.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, not thinking about the story. Like,
Yeah.
is the character cowering in fear, or are they jumping for joy? Like, those are going to be very different expressions.
Yeah, I would train yourself to see the curves. Like, train yourself to be like, oh, from the head to the toes. Like, you know, what curve can I see? Like, oh, I see this curve. And you're like, okay, well, where does this curve start? And where does this curve start? And you're like, okay, well, I can simplify this curve to, like, the bottom of the pelvis, and this one to the shoulders. So, like, I can use that as reference, you know?
Yeah, this is an iPad
Yes.
that
that's
you're
what I-
seeing right here. iPad with an Apple Pencil. Thoughts on the Avatar movie being leaked? I mean, that guy's cooked, whoever
That guy-
leaked it.
yeah.
Like, let's be honest, that person's cooked. I didn't watch it. I don't think I will watch the leaked version, even as much as how scummy bringing it to just Paramount Plus is. I can understand why they decided to put it on Paramount Plus from Paramount's perspective, because you have to keep subscriptions up. I 100% was planning on seeing it in the theaters.
Same.
Like, 100%
I didn't even
planning
know
on
that there
seeing it.
was even a movie that was being made. Actually, I didn't remember, but I forgot.
I think it's very unfortunate to the people who were caught in the crossfire of the people who worked on the movie, because they had nothing to do with the leak or Paramount. Like, you just work on the project. You don't have anything to do with the company that has the rights to it. It's like, I've worked on a lot of video games, and one of the big games that I worked on was Anthem, and the team on Anthem was amazing. They were super nice. I worked with the art director of EA. It is Derek or Darren. I don't remember his name exactly. And super nice guy, very passionate. He like art directed the Mass Effect games, and their hands were tied the whole time. Like, the higher ups at the studio, like, they were not allowed to make fun decisions, and they were doing their best to make an awesome game with what they were
had.
given. And they had nothing to do with like the higher up decisions. So it's always sad to see a project get affected so heavily, because you know the people who worked on it are just in love with it, and they do their best, and they're very
Passionate.
yeah, and respectable. And I think it honestly hurts the chances of future projects and stuff, and rip the guy who leaked it, because he's gonna get generational debt.
Generational familial debt. Yeah. Possibly.
But I don't know much about it. I can definitely understand from having worked on projects that didn't do well. But I don't know much about Avatar stuff. Like, I watched it as a kid growing up. I watched like a season of Korra or something later, but that's when I was in my art grind, so I didn't really watch anything.
I only watched. When was the first time we watched Avatar together? The first time I ever watched Avatar was with him.
Yep.
It was really fun.
I showed you Avatar. We
Yeah.
watched it all together. It's
Yeah.
a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece.
The original Avatar, The Last Airbender, is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
What got you into art?
Anime. Kind of.
I mean,
yeah,
my
anime.
dad drew and painted when I was little. Your dad drew
My dad drew, yeah.
when you were young.
Yep.
And it's like that was probably your first exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, my first exposure was my anime and my dad, you know.
Yeah. I didn't watch anime growing up.
You weren't allowed to at the time.
I mean, I knew, like, if I watched like Dragon Ball Z, and my parents saw like anything about like Master Roshi or any of that, it would have been.
They would have been.
I never would have been allowed to watch it again. I wasn't allowed to watch anything on like basically Adult Swim, which was like the channel. I wasn't allowed to watch Full Metal Alchemist. I didn't even know it existed until I was like 14. I grew up watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, which isn't an anime. It's kind of like a love letter to anime, but I watched like SpongeBob and Cartoon Network and stuff growing up, so I didn't. But I always liked it. Like, I was always fascinated with it. Like, I would see books at the library that were like, how to draw manga. And I was like, what?
Wow.
That's so interesting.
You know, my first how to draw book was a how to draw princesses book.
Yeah.
It was like a step-by-step of drawing 50 different princesses, and I loved that book to death. It was really fun. I drew those step-by-steps all the time.
It wasn't. Yeah. And, like, it wasn't until I found Mark Crilly on YouTube when I was, like,
Yeah.
14, 15. And I didn't even know reference was a thing. I thought people just drew from their imaginations without ever having, like, a technique or a process to making stuff. It was so primitive. Just the way that I drew and thought was so incredibly primitive. I thought, like, I didn't even think anything. Like, you see an amazing image online and you don't, like, consider it a drawing.
Yeah.
It just exists.
It just is. It's a product.
Like, you didn't think, oh, someone actually made that and, like, thought through it and designed it and stuff. Like, you're just a kid with a pencil. I did see one episode of Adult Swim, like Full Metal Alchemist, a long time ago, and there was like the Afro Samurai, like the shows that I was never allowed to watch because they were always on after my bedtime.
Oh.
My brother watched a little bit of Pokemon.
Oh, I watched Pokemon growing up. That was a big influence on me too.
Sailor Moon, a tiny bit of that. He watched it. He was older than me, so he kind of watched a little bit of Sailor Moon, but not really any anime.
I watched Kiko-chan Smile growing up. It was big inspiration on me as well. I never knew what the anime was until much later, because it was in Chinese.
Yeah.
This is an Apple Pencil Pro.
Little did I know that I would get into a career of inventing things from my imagination.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you showed, like, kid version of me what I would be making as an adult, I literally would not even be able to, like, comprehend. Like, I would have seen adult version of me's art, and I wouldn't have considered it art. It would have been, like, one of those it just exists type thing.
Your kid stuff will be so, like, what?
It wouldn't even be like
Yeah.
that. It
Yeah,
would
that's
just be
true.
like, oh, it's
Oh.
a picture.
Yeah.
Like, when it's so beyond what you can imagine that you don't consider it art.
Oh, it's
You
like
just
switching
kind of
between
see it.
dimensions.
You just see it as like, oh, it's like a TV show, or oh, it's like a game. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. But yeah, we also do classes online. So if you like how we teach and you want to learn more and actually have a structured way of drawing the fundamentals and actually improving, we have our Anime Art School program. And we also have a live perspective class coming up for signups. So you can check that out on the same page. It'll be the red button.
Did you change your art station?
Nope, I did not.
It's always been Christina Wu Art?
Yeah, I think so. I guess
I thought it
so.
was just Christina Wu. Not that page. Yeah, we do. I am teaching a perspective class coming up, and we have an online school as well. Yeah, if you're interested in seeing the kind of work that Christina and I make, I can show a little bit of it. Here is some of Christina's work. She does this kind of stuff.
Yep. I don't only
Portraits,
do anime. I do
studies.
portraits too.
She teaches anatomy. We just wrapped up an anatomy class not too long ago. She does expressions of her character. These are all from Imagination, by the way.
Yep.
This kind of stuff. Here's Tira, our OC for our Anime Academy. Here's Miki.
And then there's
June.
June. And then there's old stuff.
Really old stuff. So that's it. That's like
it.
all the new stuff you've posted.
I
You have like
know.
nothing
I
new
have
on your art station
nothing.
anymore. I guess these. You should move those below these.
I should.
There's Miki. Studies. So that's Christina's work. This is what my work looks like. My background is in concept art for games and theme parks. And so I was an environment artist. I did a lot of drawing and backgrounds and perspective and all kinds of stuff. This sort of thing. And I can't read chat while I do this, by the way.
Yeah,
So.
that's fine. I'm reading.
Mm-hmm.
Any tips for being consistent in anatomy and landmarks? Do it
Do
a
it a
lot.
lot.
Yeah, let's just do it a lot.
It's literally repetition. Like, how do you know how to speak your language? Because you do it a lot. It's the repetition. You speak it every single day. You listen to other people doing it. And it's just repetition, repetition, repetition.
Proco's great at teaching anatomy. We teach anatomy and proportion and stuff quite often. I would say find a process that you're like, you know what, that feels pretty doable. I'm going to try it and do it more than 100 times. Now, you don't have to do it like all in one go. You could just like steadily practice every day. Like decide, I'm going to block out maybe 30 minutes.
Are
or
you
even
still
an hour.
answering this question?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You can block out, an hour to 30 minutes to an hour or more to like focus on proportion and anatomy and stuff, and that will help.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if you don't know anatomy and landmarks, study it.
Yeah.
Done a ton of figures. What should I move on to next? More figures.
More figures.
Because it never ends. But that doesn't mean that's the only thing you should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
You can do a lot. Like, I mean, Christina does figures every single day. She's doing figures right now for practice. Like, it doesn't mean it's the only thing you can practice all the time. Like, you can practice multiple things, jump between subjects, keep it interesting.
Yeah, add clothes on them. Turn them into your characters, color them.
Want to enroll in your class so bad it looks so worth it? Oh, it is. 100%.
It is very worth it.
But it'll, it's around. Although we are running a watercolor promotion right now.
Yes, actually, we are.
I don't know when that's going to end. We haven't really figured out an exact date. I don't want to run it for too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you do get any of our classes, like the Perspective Live class,
Like this?
or the Anime Art School, a watercolor drawing of your own original character will get done, and we'll mail it to you. That is a promotion that is going on right now.
So if you sign up for either of these, you get a watercolor.
And if you sign up for both, you get two.
Yeah.
Watch
Plus a little discount if you get Anime Art School.
Have you ever experienced feeling uncomfortable while drawing? Like drawing just doesn't feel right? Oh yeah, that's normal.
Mm-hmm.
When you beat art block, I went from doing whole art pieces to not even finishing a sketch. There could be so many reasons for that.
Yeah.
I don't think all art block is created equal. Like, it's a complicated emotional thing,
Mm-hmm.
Like, it could just be an imbalance with, like, dopamine where you just scroll TikTok and brain rot all day, and so drawing isn't very rewarding compared to that. It could be that something happened in life that just killed your mood for it. It could be too much pressure on yourself to perform and not focusing on having fun. Like, there's so many different things it could be.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I kind of just thought of another way to kind of think about drawing. If you've drawn a lot of figures and you don't know what else to move on, think in terms of additive stuff. What else can I add to this figure that I could add extra practice to? So, like, I just drew this character earlier that did not have any clothes or anything on it. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to draw some clothes on top. And so you're just thinking about it in sort of an additive mindset. And just like, oh, I'm going to practice form by drawing some clothes on top. Or I'm going to practice drawing my original character on this pose. And it's like a base that you can start off with. Art is going to feel pretty uncomfortable for a long time, especially if you have like these expectations of like where you think you should be. That adds a lot of stress. So sometimes I would like just kind of try to take it out immediately, like try to take it out as much as possible. That
Take
mindset,
what out?
just the expectations,
Oh.
like the heavy expectations, the unhealthy ones. As a person with ADHD, sometimes the art block is just a hyperfixation wearing off. Interesting. That's cool. That's an interesting observation. What other games have you worked on?
I was a freelance concept artist for a long time, so concept artists who are freelance tend to work on a lot of games for a short period of time. Although you'll get hired on gigs that are a couple years long depending on who you're working for. I did some weapon design for Guild Wars 2. I did a little bit of character skin work for Call of Duty Black Ops 4. I worked on a game called Ender Magnolia. What else? I did a bunch of mobile game stuff. I worked on Anthem for about a year. Around a year. That's when I was like moving out to Pasadena, remember?
Yeah.
I had that message from Volta. They wanted me to work on props for Anthem, but then they ran out of props after like a month, and all I did was character skins. And I was not a character skin artist.
You had a hard time on those.
I had a hard time, but learned a lot.
Yeah.
You know, bless my art director.
You know, that's a really good point too. When you're struggling, that also it's actually a good thing. When you're struggling, it's not a bad thing.
What else? I did some early map design for a map on PUBG. I did some Bakugan cards. What else? I don't know, so many different things. I designed a bunch of furniture for Oculus Home.
Oh, those were fun.
Those were really fun. That was a really profitable job too. Furniture jobs, dude. Like piecework, where you can just kind of take on artwork that's paid by piece. Most of this was with Volta. They're a concept art studio in Quebec, Canada. I haven't worked for them for years, though. I haven't done any concept art, like, for games in, I don't even know, probably around 3 years now.
How do you draw a skirt if the character is sitting? I would think of it like a blanket. You know, how long is a skirt, first of all? But it's basically like a tube. Well, I know that we're kind of not doing anatomy right now, but, you know, I think it's a fun little topic. Your skirt, depending on how long it is, it's a cone, right? But it's also a malleable cone. So, like, if you have someone that's sitting down, there's going to be areas of pressure that the cloth is going to, like, be pulled to. Like, it's going to be resting on the legs, and it's also going to be pressed against the cloth and the thing that they're sitting on. There's also going to be folds in the kneecaps if the skirt is long enough. But if it's like a shorter skirt, you know, it kind of follows the form of the leg, so it kind of has like this little W shape. And then sometimes you'll see it kind of just pooling on the chair like this. So it's like a little blanket. That's how I like to think about it. You know, I would do a lot of studies of people sitting down with skirts and then just see how does it wrap over the legs? How does it wrap on the chair? That's what's going to help you the most. We were doing some anatomy earlier in people drawing. How do you draw shoulders and not make them look too weird or too close to the chest? I have a solution. Your shoulders, try to find your clavicle. Your clavicle is about 1 hand length apart. And so that'll give you a measurement, right? This is about a hand length. And if you know how to find your hand length, you take your nose to the top of your head. That's a hand length. So you just take that and you're like, oh yeah, boop, boop. And then your shoulders are like immediately after this. And your chest follows closely. But of course, like, we don't want his shoulders to look like square like this. It's actually a little bit more nuanced. It's actually more like sloped like this because of the traps. And then the shoulders roll off almost immediately. And then afterwards, you don't put your chest over here. That's way too far. It's actually kind of around this point, kind of where the clavicle is as well. So the clavicle is a very important measurement for the shoulders and also for where you're going to show like your chest area. But it's a complicated area, so like I totally understand why it's difficult. What do you think is best to do when having art block? It depends on what kind of art block you're having. If you just have like no idea what to draw whatsoever, try to draw something new that you've never drawn. You know, maybe find a new thing to learn, like draw materials or draw clothes if you've never drawn it. Try to draw buildings even if you know you're gonna suck at it, you know. Draw plants. Sometimes it's good to come up with stories. That helps a lot, for me at least. You know, it helps me to... if I don't know what to draw, I'll kind of have like a little list that goes on in my head. So I'm like, oh, you know, what do I feel like drawing? Well, I feel like drawing something cute. Okay, well, that's a direction. So then I'm like, okay, well, what's something cute? Well, Miki. Colton's character, Miki, is cute. So like, okay, I'll draw her. And then it will kind of start a little story, you know. So maybe that can help as well. How do I make my legs not look so muscular? Like when I draw girls, it makes them look like a bodybuilder. Don't define the muscles too much. That's really it. Like female legs, if you start going like this and defining, oh, here's my quads, here's my kneecap, you know, here's this. If you start getting too anatomical and very sectiony and kind of like sinewy, it's gonna look more like a bodybuilder. So really think like put a blanket over, like think of the skin and the fat as covering all these nuances. Basically just erase them, you know, like, or just really subtly show them a little bit. And now it doesn't look as muscular. But also keep in mind that if you add too many bumps like this or like this, also looks muscular. So keep the lines smoother. Like focus more on the S curves and the more the tubular form, like the cylindrical form. You can add a little bit of stuff like the sartorius, but don't go all the way, for example. You can just add a hint of it and then let the mind do the rest. Right, so here's like a much smoother leg that doesn't feel like bulky and super muscular. It's more about like the nuance, you know. I definitely struggle a lot with, you know, trying to, being, you know, having drawn so much anatomy and teaching so many anatomy classes, I tend to sometimes draw my characters very lean, you know, like this, because I study anatomy a lot. And so I sometimes forget to add in fat. So I'm like, okay, I got to remember to add in the fat, and that just covers a lot of these details. So like, you know, for instance, let me try here. Like this, for example, she's very, very lean in this drawing, but in the painting, I covered a lot of that detail. So it's like you barely see that muscle tone at all. You'll see like hints of it, but it's not as muscular as in the drawing, you know. And this is from the school, but you know, I talk about like how to smooth things more. Like in this drawing, very, very defined in the arm, because I was focusing on the muscles. And then here, I'm like, okay, let's blend it a little bit more. Soften the edges. A lot of it is hard versus soft edges, you know. I was getting really unmotivated because I had no thoughts on what to draw. Yeah, that totally, you know, that's totally a very common thing. There's like different kinds of art block. Like, is it caused because of a skill issue? Is it caused because of a idea issue? Like you just have no more ideas? Is it a story issue? Is it an emotional issue? So yeah, art block is very layered. So yeah. Oh, that's a really nice study so far. Do you think it'd be better to focus down on one fundamental for a long time, like a month, and change it to the next fundamental when you're poor at, or have a weekly schedule for each fundamental?
Oh, it's totally up to you.
Totally up to you.
It's really up to the individual. Some people will really laser focus on one thing for a while. Mm-hmm. Other people will switch between them. I like to look at successful art and design schools. Heck, when I was going to Art Center, they would give you like 7 classes in term 1. And there would be like design process 1. There would be perspective or viscom. There would be like analytical figure drawing, and you would do all those classes in the same week, but you don't have to. It seems like just deciding and doing a method is the right answer.
Yeah.
Just
choose
doing
a
something.
direction.
Choose a direction
And then see how
go
you
in
feel
it.
about it later.
Like, choose a direction, go in it for whatever, 3 months, check in with yourself and go, is this working for me? Is it not working for me? Why is it or why is it not? I guess it's my turn to read chat. All right. Is there any YouTube videos you guys know for an easy anatomy? I have trouble remembering all of it. No, it's not an easy thing. I don't think there's a way to break down the body simply, but like drawing people is hard. There's a lot to it. It requires a lot of repetition, experimentation. There's proportion, there's gesture, there's volumes. I mean, just simple volumes is like, that opens a whole can of worms of perspective, which is like dimensional drawing, one of the hardest things to get a handle on. You just keep throwing yourself against it, trying it, practicing. But I check out Michael Hampton's YouTube channel. That's pretty good.
Michael Hampton. Yeah, he does have a lot of anatomy videos. He has like a whole like playlist of it. Let's see. Thanks. I've been focusing hard on fundamentals rather than having a schedule, and I was thinking if that was inefficient or not.
I'm not sure. Do you feel like it's helping you, or do you not? Yeah, I'd check out Michael Hampton on YouTube. Like, there's a bunch of good figure drawing resources out there, but at the end of the day, the human body is a very complex three-dimensional form, and it's not easy to draw. So give yourself a lot of grace with learning. It takes a long time.
Yeah, like, I'd say the simplest way to get anatomy down is having a good structure. Like, I mean, and that takes a lot of time too, but like, if you can draw, you know, the simple torso like this, where it's like, oh yeah, I know how to break it down. Like, oh, I start off with a pillow or with an envelope, and then I work on top of that. Like, you're always having some foundation to go back to, makes it a lot easier. And that's what I focus on a lot in our class in our anime art school. Is I teach you like, oh, here is a flat version of a torso that feels approachable, and then like, okay, let's turn this literally into a box by adding sides. Okay, well now let's add in the rib cage. And so this is the process I take you, and I'm drawing kind of like a meh version of it, but that's fine. You know, here's the rib cage, and here's the pelvis, and you're like always working on top of something that you've already done, and you made it easier for yourself to do it.
Yeah, art is very, very, very process driven. The more you can break down complicated tasks into bite-sized pieces, so you can focus like all of your attention on one single thing at a time, the more successful your artworks will generally become. That's one of the reasons like the school that I went to was so incredibly effective, is because you were literally forced to use a process the entire year.
Yeah. And so really the only way to memorize the anatomy is just doing the process over and over and over again, and you will memorize it. Like, that's the thing. You will be able to memorize it. You just need to put in the work to do it. Like, it is a puzzle. Yeah, it feels like a puzzle sometimes. It really is.
Yeah. I like to think about learning art similarly to learning how to speak. Like, think about how you learn language in a school when you're growing up, when you're a kid. It's very, very process driven. Like, you're writing out the alphabet a whole bunch of times. You're saying words and phrases over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Like literally years of your life as a kid is
You're
like
saying sentences. And
you're constantly hearing people talk and trying to talk, and other people are going, oh, it's actually pronounced this, or oh, you say this instead. It's like you spend literally years of your life learning how to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Art is very similar. It's a language. It's a visual language.
So like when I'm drawing a torso like this, I'm not just trying to, I've done it so many times where I can draw from imagination, but like I'm still thinking about this. Like this is still appearing in my imagination that I'm kind of like following my lines with. Does that make sense? So that's how you memorize. Just doing it over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I feel like the more you like learning about it, and you're like, man, I see this more of like a challenge rather than, ooh, if I fail at it, you know, I'm just gonna get super depressed. Like I'm like, you know what, I know that I'm going to fail, but I'm going to try and do the best I can anyways. And then oh, did I get the pelvis right this time? And I also really recommend having a target standard. Get an artist that you really like their anatomy of, and you're like, oh, I really want my art to feel like this person. And that will really level up your artwork as well, because you're like, you actually have a baseline to reach. I have a class called visual language. Nice.
Yeah, I mean it is.
It is.
It's a visual language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. So learning how to draw is very much like learning another language.
Yeah. You know, I like to use crochet models. I use a lot of crochet models to find the correct placement of anatomy and stuff. You know, I find that, you know, that personally to me works a bit better than just tracing on top. But, you know, there's a time and place for tracing. It's just a very specific way to do it, you know. I remember in my figure drawing class, we traced over Da Vinci's and yeah, that's right. Da Vinci's and Michelangelo's artwork to try and find where they placed the muscles, and we labeled them. And so that helped me to be like, oh, so if they put it here, then I'm going to put it here in my drawing.
Yeah. It's helpful for the repetition of memorizing muscles.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to do it in a specific way. Like it's not the tracing that makes you good at it. It's being forced to go through some sort of motion in order to memorize it. Like it connects the physical to the mental. Like if you just sit there and look at it, you don't really learn a lot. There's like what is it, like the pyramid of learning or something? There's like listening, reading, watching, like having a demo and then doing it and then teaching it. There's like different levels of how much you learn from stuff. And tracing can be useful when used in a specific way to force you to go through the motions of doing it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't recommend tracing without like a specific process.
Mm-hmm. That looks really good, Colton. You should show it. Yeah. Let's see. How about the cylinder and boxes for the torso? Is it a lot easier to understand it that way? Yeah, for me personally, you know, like I mean, what muscles are in anatomy and stuff is just forms on top of forms. So like, get the simplest form down because everything else can relate to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether you draw a torso like this, where it's like, you know, here's an egg shape. You know, that's a form. You know, a lot of people will call this a circle, but it's not. It's a spherish, ovalescent form. You know, here's a box for a pelvis. You know, you can start like this, and then, you know, in here, like there's a squishy middle. Or you can go more macaroni shaped, which is the rib cage is a cylinder. The pelvis is a cylinder, and then you connect it like a bendy tube. You know, if that works for you, totally fine. As long as you're thinking in terms of 3D, like, and you can get a good result, it doesn't really matter which forms you use. It's just more of like which one works best for you. Boxes are easiest to see the perspective of different sides. Like, are you looking up and to the side, of this box, or are you looking straight down at an angle like this? So like the box is very descriptive, so that's why I like using boxes a lot. With cylinders, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes. Like it's more like you kind of have to go by the shadows and kind of a vibe, because a cylinder, for the most part, looks the same all around, excluding the bottom, right? But with the box, you're like, oh yeah, here's the side, here's the side. It's very specific. And then, you know, of course, I've shown it earlier, but like when you add in muscles like the pecs, you know, that goes around the box. Your center line, you know, goes around the box. And you reference your center line a lot. So that helps me.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, what was the most challenging thing to learn in your art journey? I'll let Colton finish his little demo.
It's like, you know, boxes have these very specific points that you can chart. Cylinders are really, really good for showing, you know, like this. Or let's just say you're looking very down at it.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking very up at it. But with box, like you can't really see which orientation this cylinder is facing, right? Unless I draw like a center line on it, like this. But with boxes, it's incredibly easy to rotate it around. You can go, oh, maybe I want it a little bit more facing that way. So it's like, I'm just going to rotate it just a little bit more to that direction, right? So there's that center of the box right there versus this, right? We can shrink them to be similarly sized. Or we could go, I don't know, maybe it's facing even more up. Like, look at this, right? It's facing us more. And here's that box. And here's the middle pointing out. You can be really specific with all 3 dimensions of rotation, whereas cylinders are actually just kind of useful for like 2 of those. And spheres, I mean, a sphere looks the same from every single angle. You have to put a wrapping line on it in order to do that. Can you get away with starting a body with spheres? Absolutely. Like you totally can, right? It's just a little bit more difficult to get that exact like rotation of everything. So that's just why a lot of people use boxes. Does everybody know? Do you have to? No. Use what you want, what you find most beneficial. But are you not using it because you can't do this, or are you using it because this is legitimately the better option? If you're using this because you can't do this, you will also not be able to do this, because they're really just the same thing. They're just forms in perspective, you know? Like we could go, okay, here's the capsule of, I don't know, the hips, right? And so it's like, well, what do you connect it to exactly? Like, how do you... This is weird.
Yeah, it feels like there's not really much to grab onto.
Yeah, and it's like, where do I put the pectoralis? Like, I don't have a top point to measure from. Like, do I put it right here? Where do I put the abdominals? Like, where's the bottom of the rib cage? Is it here? Is it here? Like, that's the difficulty with this. But like, if this was a torso, if you're drawing it with a box, it's much easier to measure on a box.
Yeah.
Right? Here's my torso. It's like, oh, halfway. Bottom of the rib cage. Pectoralis right above that. Yup.
Yep, looks right.
Pelvis. Maybe we can put that here. Right? Oh, boop, 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 boop. There's the twist. Here's my center line. Very easy to find that. There's that. Right? Here's the back. Right? And you can go, oh, abdominal muscles along that center line right there. Right? 3-finger gap right here. And we could go, that leg could come. What way should we do the leg? Like, be like this. Or actually, let's do this. There.
Ooh.
Leg coming out. Whatever. Leg going back. Like that, right? We've got our edge of our rib cage, external oblique, external oblique. Like, I've got that solid point to connect it to. And I find with this, it's like, where is that point
Feels
on
very
this thing?
vague.
Like, yeah, it's like you don't really have a solid point to connect it to as much. It's like, where on this is it? Unless you start like marking out tick marks here and you go, okay, halfway or a third and a third. So like, just a lot of people prefer to use boxes because they have more defined sides that you can measure from. You know, you go, okay, cylinder or circle, not a circle, a sphere for the shoulder. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that comes out. Right? A little bit of the deltoid there.
Wow, look at that.
But anyways.
I saw a comment that says, I think the ideal ratio for adult legs is 2 heads.
Huh?
Well, let's check. Here's a head.
Yeah, the lives get saved.
Yeah. I do not think the legs are 2 heads long.
Oh, I meant 3 to 4 heads.
3 to 4 heads?
So is it 3 or is it 4?
I think it just depends, but I just go like this. Upper body, lower body.
I mean, technically it would be 4.
It would be 4
if you're
because
doing
it's
an 8-head figure.
Yeah.
What if you're doing an anime character with a larger head? You can't use the head to measure anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of different proportional measurements in figure drawing, and if one doesn't work, you could use another to cross-reference it.
Yeah.
So it's like you're drawing an 8-head figure, but what if you're drawing Nikki? Like, she's not an 8-head figure.
Yeah, like her leg is 1.
That's not even from the bottom of the pelvis.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oops. 1, 2. Hers is 3, but it's
Yeah.
also because she's not an 8-headed figure.
Or it's just a tiny bit less than 3.
Yeah.
But again, it's because she's not an 8-head figure.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like upper body is the same size as lower body, and that's a good starting point.
Mm-hmm. I think the basically the nutshell of anatomy and stuff is it's all forms. It's all dimensional drawing. Like, you
Yeah.
can't escape it. You can't escape perspective either.
It's an unfortunate thing that you basically can't paint, can't draw people, can't light, can't know what colors to use without some sort of a foundation in form drawing. That's why so many art schools start off with perspective classes. It's kind of a prerequisite for everything else.
Yeah.
You can learn other stuff at the same time, but you can't really learn other stuff without some sort of dimensional drawing ability. Like, if you're an absolute beginner, there's no way around developing the ability to draw in 3D. Like, you have to learn it. It's like it's like learning the alphabet or like learning what a word is. It's all 3D forms.
Well, that's why you can't really get better without drawing. You have to draw. You have to, like, actually draw the alphabet of art,
Yeah.
which is generally perspective.
And a lot of the time, like, amateur or intermediate artists are just like, oh, like, I never really learned perspective and I'm doing fine. It's like, they don't realize that they are learning perspective. Like, they're getting better at perspective through their mileage. Like, if you draw humans and figures a lot, you don't have to think the word perspective in order to get better at drawing in perspective. So, like, you look at their drawings and you go, well, yeah, you're drawing in perspective. Like, you may not know you are, but you are, because, like, I mean, look at, like, I don't even know, like the furry community or like the adopts community, like, have no formal training. Like, they're drawing in perspective. They're drawing cylinders. They're drawing forms overlapping. Like, that is perspective. They may not realize that they're doing it. Some of them, you know, like people with no formal training who have really good looking work have been practicing Foundation without knowing it.
I think that's kind of interesting.
There is no 7-head rule. Or if it's a rule, it's like rules in art are more of general starting points. They're very rarely accurate.
I like using 8 generally because it's easier to divide. 7 is like 7 point, like, I don't know, 3.5. What?
A lot of people will start with an 8-head figure and adjust from there because 8 is an easy number to divide. You divide it in half, it's 4. You divide it in half again, it's 2.
Yeah.
Super simple. I haven't heard of a 7-head rule. But I mean, I haven't looked up every
rule.
Every combination of like drawing ever.
Yeah.
Who's the person you guys suggested for learning anatomy? Michael Hampton. He has a good channel.
I wrote it here.
The 6-7 head rule. Ah, yes.
Your head is as big as your foot. Interesting.
I don't know. I thought the head rule was for determining how tall you want your character to look, not telling you how tall every character should be. No, I mean, a character is going to have a head measurement regardless because it's like a unit of measurement, right? It's kind of like a rule of thumb or a way to gauge it. But I mean, I very, very rarely see people going, how many heads tall is my character? Oh, okay. It's like, I don't really know what information that provides.
Yeah.
Artwhat is pretty good. Yeah, their content is pretty good. I think that channel's gotten quite negative lately. Like, every time I watch the channel, it just makes me, like, mad at the world or annoyed. So I don't really watch it. But, yeah, I mean, he's a concept artist. They got good content. I think the channel has kind of gone down the complaining rabbit hole a lot, and I like to try and keep my mental health and mindset a little bit more positive. So I don't really watch many art channels in general. I think my favorite channel, maybe James Gurney. I like James Gurney's channel a lot. It's good. He's a living legend.
Yeah, he is. He's got the spirit of an artist, you know.
Yeah. Proko's great. Proko's really good.
Proko's really good. I studied a lot of Michael Hampton's book.
Michael Hampton's channel is really good.
Yeah.
I like channels that you can tell they just have a passion for teaching. Like, I wish Will Weston had a YouTube channel.
I know. I wish he did too.
That would be nuts, dude. That would be like an instant
so viral. He would literally be so
But
viral.
I don't really watch almost any art YouTube. If I do, it would be something like James Gurney. I'll like kind of casually dabble here and there. As far as I know, most artists don't watch art YouTube. Like, professional working artists don't watch a lot of art YouTube. None of my friends do.
Yeah.
I don't think almost any of my professional friends watch like art YouTube. It's entertainment. Like, and if they want to learn something, they're going to take a class on it. Like, they'll take a mentorship. Not saying art YouTube is bad, you know. I mean, obviously we're teaching for free on YouTube, but like, I don't know. You kind of.
I feel like
I'm not
because
really
art,
in the group of people that watches it.
I feel like because I already do art, I don't really need to watch art YouTube.
Yeah.
That's kind of like I kind of get my art fix already.
Not
just by
like
doing it myself.
not like you're above it.
No.
But like
no.
you get your art fix.
Yeah, like I got my art fix. You
That's
know?
interesting.
Yeah.
I've never really been one to watch art videos on YouTube.
Like, I think if I was introduced to art YouTube more often, like as a kid, I probably would be watching it more. But I didn't really grow up watching it either, so it's like.
Maybe you just outgrow it after a while. I just never think it fell under my interest range.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we would outgrow it because like there's always someone better than you making videos. Like, I mean, very few people are ever going to get as good as Kim Jung-gi, and there's a ton of content of him on YouTube. Or like, I maybe you mean that in the way of like interest change. I was never very interested in art YouTube channels. Never really watched them. I watched some gaming and let's play channels.
Music
And honestly,
channels.
what?
Music.
I mean, yeah, I'll like listen to music
Music.
and stuff on YouTube, but I would say if I do watch something, it's like a specialty channel. Like, I don't know. My mind keeps going back to James Gurney. I've been watching him a lot because he's amazing at gouache.
And you like to learn the techniques and what he does.
When I was when I was in high school, I was like a student. It was like pre-FZD. I would watch like the Level Up guys. I watched them a lot. I really enjoyed their interviews and talks, but that's like I was trying to completely immerse myself in the mindset of what the professional art world is like, because that's where I was going.
It's almost like interest based. Like if you want to do something as like a career, you watch something that fuels that kind of
Yeah.
energy, you know.
I think it's great for people who want to learn about stuff for free. Like, definitely. Like, I think there's super, super, super useful channels out there, and I think it falls on every end of the spectrum. Some are very focused on education, some are very focused on entertainment, some are in the middle and lean to one side or the other. I think it's great. I just don't watch it. I don't really have an interest in it that much. I think doing it is fun.
I also, you know, maybe another reason why some people watch is because it's a community. You know, it's kind of like Artemino for us back then.
You know, although you were way more into Artemino than I was.
That's true. That's true.
I was
way more
not
into it.
Artemino very much.
That's
I like
true.
posted on it here and there, but
You were not
it
in
was
that
not
culture.
a community. I wasn't
No.
part of that culture.
That's right. Yeah.
I was on it for years. It wasn't like my life.
Yeah. I watched to learn something new, and that's great.
That's great. If you watch to learn, I would recommend Michael Hampton, James Gurney, Nathan Fowkes.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of channels that stay very educational. What's his name? Gene Bond. Like, his channel is almost strictly educational.
Yeah.
He spends very, very, very little time on the entertainment side and 99% of his time on the educational side. Gene Bond art. He teaches perspective, drawing in fisheye lenses, doing studies, breaking down art styles. He's a friend. He's a really cool dude. Very technical.
Very academic.
Very academic, yeah.
Well, he learned in an academic school, so I think that inspires his way of teaching.
What else? I don't know. I could look.
Yeah.
I don't really.
That's a fun topic.
And I'm not trying to find art channels. I'm strictly talking about the ones that I like and know about and have watched. I'm sure chat has a lot of suggestions, but
Was it
I can't
simple
suggest them
drawing
because
and
I don't know about them.
Yeah.
What?
What is it? Simple drawing and
Simplified
painting?
drawing and painting.
Yeah,
That guy's
Simplified.
really good. Alex something. Simplified drawing and painting. He's a really nice oil painter. He has some really good content. This is literally Simplified Drawing and Painting. That's his channel name. Phenomenal stuff. 203,000 subscribers. Alex Zavarez. Professional portrait artist and experienced instructor.
Oh,
He's good.
He is good.
He's got nice oil portrait
very
work.
nice. I like his
legit.
portraits.
What else? I don't really know. Ian Roberts.
Oh, Ian Roberts. Yeah.
He's got a good channel. Ian Robert. A lot of oil painters. I tend to follow a lot of oil painters. I don't really watch a lot of these people's content. Goro Fujita.
Ooh.
I don't know if he uploads tutorials and stuff. No, not really.
We more attend classes.
Goro's got a great emailing list, and he has a really good Gumroad and Patreon. He is really, really nice stuff. He has a huge Instagram.
I remember drawing with Jaza. We had an animation teacher had us watch his content for class stuff.
I never watched his stuff.
It's
I
cute.
heard a lot of people like him.
He seems like a nice dude.
Yeah, nothing really.
I downloaded your brush and love it so far. Awesome. And we got it from someone else and we love it.
No idea. Vizine stuff is pretty good. They're pretty niche.
Feels like they're only focused on a certain audience.
Yeah, they're very focused. They're really good. Like they have some really high level artists working there.
Should I write it down? I guess I will.
I mean, if you want.
Yeah.
Vizine. Dude, I love James Gurney's channel. It's so good. So many gems on every video. Just phenomenal.
Bob Ross is the reason why I do art today. If it wasn't him inspiring me, I probably wouldn't be drawing at all.
That's awesome.
Bob Ross is great.
Yeah, I love his stuff. Darren Bacon, he started a YouTube channel actually.
Who's this?
He doesn't upload anything. He just uploads some sketches on shorts. That's it. Oh, Darren Bacon's great. He's a really, really good hard surface artist.
Ooh, fun.
But he has no content on his YouTube channel.
Oh. Anyone. Bob Ross is amazing. He really teaches people the most important part of art. Anyone can do it. You know, it reminds me of the Ratatouille movie. Anyone can cook. Kind of vibe.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of channels out there that are really good. You could spend forever going through art channels on YouTube and finding amazing stuff. It's not really gonna make you that much better. Like, you have to draw. There's so many ways to do stuff successfully. Like, you could find any of them and practice a lot, and you'll get better. Like, you can. People start so many different ways. Like, there is no best way. There's just doing it and experimenting and learning and then failing and being like, okay, what do I need to do better? Okay, let's try this. Let's try that.
Any tips on motivated on art? How to be motivated? I don't know what motivates you. I guess, like, what's your why to drawing? Like, do you draw because you enjoy it, or do you draw because you want to get better? There's a lot of different ways to be motivated. For me, like, I draw because I like it, and it gives me a lot of dopamine. And it feels like, I mean, the better you get, the more effortless it's going to be, and the more enjoyable. And sometimes just the act of creating it feels really good. Apple. He's struggling to roll around. That's a really nice study. Just seeing my art friend draw inspired me to draw, and also the game Persona 5. Hey, that's awesome. You know, some people draw because it's a social thing. I also, I like that a lot, when friends inspire each other.
Yeah.
I draw to show off. Don't we all kind of secretly do that in a way? Not really. Well, I think you can. For me, I had a phase where I wanted to flex personally, but then later on I kind of grew out of it. But I totally get it.
Yeah, I mean, do what you want, for sure. I think there are more sustainable reasons than others.
Yes. You should show what you're doing, because I think it's more interesting than what I have right now.
What,
Look
just
at
this?
that. Yeah, it looks so pretty. I really like your graphical approach to this kind of stuff. You're drawing with a mouse too. That's funny.
Yeah. I like point and click drawing.
point, point and click drawing. You should say that on like an art stream sometime.
This
for
is
the
an
heck of
art
it.
stream.
Well, what I mean is on someone else's stream, and they'll be
Oh.
like, "Huh?" I was going to become an astrophysicist. Then my friend introduced me to Marvel Comics. I'm not certain if that was a mistake. Well, if you truly find more fulfillment with drawing, then maybe it's not. But I mean, astrophysicist. I mean, what do you do as that?
Didn't Ricky become like an astrophysicist? He got like his PhD or something.
Oh,
You don't know Ricky.
I don't know
He
him.
was a guy we grew up with.
Heard of him, but I don't know who
he's
he
super
is.
cool. I like him. He got like
Mhm.
married a while back. We went to his wedding.
The jeans wedding. Like
I don't know
they
what
just
that
wore
means.
jeans.
Oh, I don't remember. It was like 8 years ago or something, probably. I don't know how many years ago it was. At least 7 years ago, probably. I don't know.
I want to get back into drawing. I haven't drawn in 5 days now. I think it's because I keep thinking that I'm drawing because people like it, not because not because I like drawing, you know? I think just draw. Like sometimes it's like maybe it's just the overthinking part. When your mind starts going into a spiral, that's when you just should put down pencil on the paper if that's what you really want to do. Yeah, I think the overthinking part, you know, when I mean, I
Yeah.
tend to overthink a lot, and sometimes I think it's productive, but it's not. When it leads you away from drawing, that's when it's like, okay, yeah, that's not productive. So sometimes you have to catch yourself. I tend to overthink a lot because I'm afraid to mess up. That'll be on various things. I'll be like, I don't know if I should do this right now, but then when in reality, I should just do it. I'll figure it out later as I go. I really like the duller vibe that you have. It's like kind of, well, it's like muted, and I like it. It's cool.
I don't know. I wanted to do some sort of study while I was doing nothing.
I feel like a stripe on that would look pretty cute.
Do it then. Blah, blah, blah.
Study astrophysics and then write accurate comics about space. You know, that's pretty good. One thing that puts me off drawing is trying to find efficient ways to fix mistakes. Like if my values aren't correct, it's hard as a newbie to know how to properly lasso and separate and organize layers.
I would just switch to traditional medium or something. Like if I find that like the technicalities of the medium are holding me back, I would probably go as simple as possible. Like I'm literally working on one layer and I'm drawing with a mouse 100% opacity. If I find that I'm getting really worked up with like stressing about that kind of stuff, I'll just go back to the basics and be like, all right, what is actually going to get me better? Time spent practicing and figuring stuff out. That would be how I would solve that problem. And there's a lot of ways to solve stuff. Some people don't even really consider it a problem, and I don't really think that they're wrong. If it doesn't bother you, then it's not a problem, probably. I mean, you know, Christina just draws super bare bones on stream.
I do.
She's like
One layer.
one layer, one punch man, one layer woman,
One layer.
one layer girl.
Yeah, I do one layer and then I'll just paint over on top. Like if I start getting my values confused, like I mean, it helps to squint. What masses do you see that is really dark versus what do you see that's in the light? And then try to match your painting with those very like compressed shapes. So like just heavily simplify and then add details later. I think people get scared of one layer because they think that they need layers in order to make an artwork, but
You should talk to some oil painters if that's the case.
yeah. Actually, I feel like working on one layer is pretty freeing. And it kind of feels like drawing without drawing with a pen that you can't erase with. Sometimes like drawing on one layer feels like that for me.
Yeah, definitely me too.
That would be a good one to study, the where she's holding the dress, white.
That.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, when you're painting in gouache, it's like all in one layer. I
Oh,
mean, you
dude.
paint in layers, but it's not like it's just on one sheet of paper.
Yeah. And like drawing with the mouse is really interesting because like this is the image that I'm kind of studying from, and I'll like squint and I'll go, "Oh, this is interesting." Like simple area. This seam line right here has complexity, has like triangles coming off of it like this. I think that's interesting. So I can notice that. I mean, that's something that can be done with a mouse. Like maybe this curve is a little bit more difficult. Let's just redo this whole area.
Ooh.
And just go, all right, let's break this down a little bit. So we've got the loop-de-doo, right? Our little ooh, like that. Okay, we got that. I see a big triangle. Simple. I could draw a triangle with a mouse. Heck, I could just shift-click it if I want. Okay. I can draw another triangle with a mouse. Okay. I could draw another little triangle with a mouse. Not too hard. Okay. Like, and then I go, well, maybe these are like a little bit too symmetrical. It's like, all right, let's bust these triangles up and make them a little bit more. I find that when I paint with a mouse, I am a lot more intentional and deliberate with my decisions. I think it's a great exercise to just do like mouse drawing. It reminds me of painting, like traditional painting. Like, where am I going to put this blob of paint? You know?
Yeah.
I'm just like, put that there. Cut this out. Okay, if I wanted to make an interesting shape, I would be able to do that with the round with the mouse. I'd go, how could I make a perfectly sharp triangle with this brush?
Oh my goodness.
Just like that. Like, I can subtract. Okay, now how would I make, I don't know, an ice cream cone? It's like, all right, well, we could just go maybe like that, right? And I could go, well, if I want to get a point, I would have to
Carve it out.
I would have to carve it out, right? And then maybe I'll make like an asymmetrical. Maybe it's actually a poop. Maybe it's not an ice cream cone.
Oh boy.
Okay. Well, what about this?
Poop cone. Oh yeah.
You know, like, that's kind of how I think about it. Like, it's a strategy. It's like a strategic. And then it's like, all right, what if I wanted like a paper coming off of it? Like a little, I go, okay. Maybe a little thing there. I don't know. I feel like it's really nice for decision making to paint like that.
I need to paint with the mouse more often.
I love it. Kevin was telling me that he works a lot with his mouse.
Oh.
My brother, who does artwork professionally, he finds that he paints with the mouse a lot. I don't think it's like superior to a tablet. It just forces you to think in a different way, and I like being forced to think in a different way. You know, it's my ADHD brain that I've had my whole life. If I can be forced to think in an interesting or different way, it helps me pay attention. More triangles. Where's a triangle?
Triangle.
There's a triangle.
And you're just looking for shapes.
Yeah, I'm just looking for shapes. That's exactly it.
Would you say that this makes you think slower than
Yes.
just drawing?
And like you can only move your mouse so fast, so your every click has to count. Like I would love to refine this shape right here. So I'm gonna go like this. I just have to think about my layering of brush strokes. Maybe this one actually goes like, ooh, like that.
Ooh, I like that.
That's fun. There's like a hook here. So I'll go, how do I hook that around? It's like a little puzzle, like a little challenge. That kind of works. Yeah.
Look at that. I've been trying to paint more with shapes and graphical approach these days. I do it more than drawing, I find, nowadays as well.
Or triangles. How about that? Who would have thought?
Oh, more triangles.
And you'll notice like every one of these decisions has to be so deliberate. You'll go, wow, that's the 4th time I painted triangles off of this type of area.
I think there's something to that.
Oh, I don't think that's a coincidence.
And then when you find a scenario similar to this, you'll be like, you know what? I remember in the last study, there were triangles in this area. So I'm going to add that in there.
And what do you know? They're in this area. Like, here's another triangle. Boop, 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 boop. Fill that triangle. And it just kind of goes like up and around. Up and around. Let's go.
Ooh, it's a fun shape.
See, I find that one kind of difficult with the mouse.
Yeah. How does one know where to blend?
I'm not blending at all. So I don't know. I haven't thought about it yet. Hard. Soft. Lost. Hard edge. Soft edge. You know.
Barely any edge.
Yeah, like lost edge. That's where I would blend. What causes hard edges? Cast shadows. Objects that are overlapping other objects. What causes soft edges? Core shadows. Cast shadows that are far away. Soft lighting. Gradients between things. Fluffy, soft objects. What causes lost edges? When two values are when the value of two different things are the same. So I would make that determination, like, you know, this is a soft edge. This is a pretty soft edge. This is definitely a hard edge. Like, I wouldn't want to blend this. That wouldn't make any sense because this is like green fabric and this is white fabric. Like,
and it's a different material.
if
too.
anything, I would want to reinforce my box here. So like her bosom spilling over. And so I would go, oh, interesting. Come on. Maybe I do that. And I go, oh, guess what? We got a little bit of a soft edge.
Oh, when
Because
it
it's a rounded
turns.
form. It's turning. So we'll just put a little bit of a soft edge there. Soft edge. Like, this is all dictated by what's happening and why.
How to render hair if there's no direction where the light is? It's just there.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
You can't render without light. Light has to be coming from somewhere. Is it coming from above, below? Is it... It sounds to me like it might be super diffused, but if you don't have light, you can't see anything. It's just black. It's the night sky.
What if it's just front?
Front?
I mean, if it's just like frontal lighting, you would get highlights up in the front of the bangs. Anything that's like hidden in the back generally has shadow.
Yeah, that would be like angle of incident lighting. If you want to... Hair is basically ribbons, but if you're rendering a cylinder with angle of incident lighting, or like from the front, all of your highlights are going to be in the center of the form. So like right here. And then your edges that go away are usually going to wrap like that. You know, you could have...
Yeah. Looks
something like that. We could put a top and a bottom to the cylinder. So let's just say, here's the top. Here's the bottom, because hair is compound cylinders. It would kind of look like that. But... And if you can't do this, you can't do hair, which is like 50 times more complicated. But this is essentially what's happening. I don't know. You can draw hair rendered from the front if you want.
Sure. I can do that. Let me just make some space. Let's see. Let's draw some hair. You know, I would also really recommend making sure that your drawing feels correct. Like the form is there. That will help you with shading. So I'm just going to come up with a simple hairstyle. And I'm really emphasizing the curves here so that when I add in like shading information, it's a lot easier for me. I'm like, oh yeah, I know exactly where to place it. Alright, so here's my hair. So if my light is directly from the front, I kind of draw like an imaginary arrow. And then also just based on a lot of experience painting hair, you will see a ring of highlight around the head like this. And that's pretty straightforward. Like if you have this, you're pretty much set. You'll also get highlights, you know, anything that's facing the light, you know, will have a ring of highlight or streak of highlight of some sort. So there's that, right? So sometimes it's just easiest to just think of it like an Oreo cookie. There's dark, then there's light, and then there's dark. And it's because it's literally a cylinder, right? Like you are thinking of it as a cylinder that is facing the side. So this is what I'm showing right here. But it's just separated as hair strands instead. So this is just even more curved, like a donut. And then this is where you can kind of like mess up the shapes a little bit, but still make sure that your highlight is towards the middle, because that's, you know, facing the front. It's not up here, it's not down here, it's in the middle. And then anything that's, you know, facing the back, like the back layers, generally will be in shadow. And then some strands that are facing towards the front, you know, you'll probably see a highlight, like a subtler highlight here and there. And so that's the process that I go through in my mind. I'm like, what's behind it? What's not hitting the light? What is in front? Where like all this stuff can be facing the light a little bit. So I will have dark, then light at this arch, and then dark again. Dark, light at this arch, and then dark again. Because this is like the front strand of this clump. You know, maybe this needs to be, you know, dimmed down a little bit. Yeah, it also applies to curly hair. But of course it depends on the texture. If you have like more cylindrical curls, you know, you'll see this more obviously. Like if my hair was more like this, I would have a better idea of where the highlight goes, because it's like, you know, very clear cylinders. And if my light source is coming from the front, then, you know, it's generally from the middle. The highlight's going to be in the middle, and then the edges are going to be shaded or going to be in shadow. Like that. Once again, this assumes you understand the form of these curls, because if you don't really know how to do this, it's very hard to render, as Colton has mentioned before. How do you avoid making it look like a shining hair? Because I really like it when I don't really like it when it looks too shiny. Well, then just dull down the highlights, soften it.
Lower contrast
Lower
as
contrast, yeah. So like here, I'm dulling down the highlights. I'm not making it as bright. And then, you know, maybe I'm making it a little bit more matte. So maybe I don't make the shadows too harsh.
When
like
do we go
this.
live? We go live like most weekdays at 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll take a day off here and there, but 5 p.m. Pacific is when we go live.
Yep.
We also ping the Discord server when we do go live. So if you want to know when we go live, we will notify it in there.
I mean, I've seen hair highlights that are almost look like bubble gum. You know, when you blow the bubble, and it looks very matte. It's very soft. I've seen that type of style as well. It looks really pretty. So the highlight will probably be like very, very faint like this. But once again, the concept of lighting still applies. You still got a dark area and a light area and a dark area because it's going away from the light. Like that. Where do you put bounce lights?
It depends where light's bouncing from. If
Like,
you-
yeah.
bounce light is a secondary light. It works exactly the same as your primary light, except it's just coming from a different direction. So the question is, what's bouncing the light? Is the floor bouncing the light? Is there a ceiling? Is she standing next to a wall? Is
Is the
that
skin?
bouncing light?
Yeah, is the skin bouncing some light?
It's like saying, like, I don't know, where do you park your car? It's like, I don't know, where are the parking spots? What store are you going to? Or, you know, or it's like, it's so contextual.
Yeah.
It's not really something that can be answered without some decision making.
Like, I've seen a lot of people, just because it looks cool, they will put some bounce light towards the bottom because it's like a sphere. So like,
Yeah, a lot of people will do that.
they'll have a lit side, a shadowed side, you know, the common like formula. And then in the shadowed side, they'll have a little bit of bounce because there's like this kind of dark light, dark light, dark light, like kind of like checkerboarding. And so sometimes a lot of anime artists will add kind of a bit of bounce or a bit of a lighter value towards the bottom because, you know, you can argue that the skin is probably glowing a little bit or radiant, and then so it adds a little bit of light towards the bottom. That's not necessarily always going to be the case, but I've seen a lot of people do that. But like bounce light is not so powerful that like you need to put it everywhere. It just depends on the context of your image.
Yeah, people overstate bounce light usually like crazy.
Yeah.
It's really not that strong most of the time.
People overstate it because they see it. And then when they see it, they're like, I must put it there. But they put it too strong. What if it's on the floor? Depends on how bright the floor is.
Yeah, what color is the floor?
Yeah. What color is the floor?
If the floor is black, no, you won't get any bounce light from it, really. If the floor is white, yeah, you'll get a lot more bounce light.
Once again, it's secondary to your main light source.
Yeah, don't let your bounce light overpower your primary light or your key light, because you kind of be cooked.
Yeah.
It makes it a very confusing image to look at, usually. I'm ready to wrap up whenever you are, by the way.
Yeah, I'm ready to wrap up too. I'd say do studies, like get a wig. Get a wig and put it in the exact scenario that you want your hair to be, and then do a study of it
Yeah.
and see how it responds. Because I can't answer all these questions because it's like hard to imagine it, you know, like working without a reference. I would look up a reference and see how that bounce light happens on the hair. Yeah, maybe we should wrap up then. I hope you guys enjoy the tutorials today. We did a good amount of bodies and breakdowns of torsos and gesture. So yeah, I need a drink of water. Today I saw a green bush turn my black cat green with a bounce light. That is crazy. That'll be a fun image to study. Thank you, Gabby. That's probably why 3 to 4 tones are important. Yeah, like limited values is pretty good. It's a great way to simplify the values and stuff. I mean, Colton in that clothing study was probably using like maybe 3 values. Maybe 4 at most.
I should simplify it more.
Sorry for the last minute question. When working on a piece over multiple days, how do you maintain consistency and actually finish it when motivation drops after the sketch phase? You can time yourself. Like, you can say, oh, I'm just going to work on this for another 30 minutes. And then if you continue to want to work on it more, then work on it more.
I find my chances of finishing an artwork dramatically increase when I remind myself that there's literally no rush.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to finish it today. I don't have to try and rush it to be finished. And I can just doodle on it for a little bit and leave it and pick it up later. And, like, I don't have to try and rush it. I really do find that that helps a lot for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why, like, I don't know. Why do I need to get it done at some specific time?
Yeah.
I'll be like, yeah, I'll just work on it for a little while. Okay, now I'll work on something else or whatever.
Sometimes I'll find that, like, I'll work on it for a good while and then I won't know what to do with it. And then I'll be like, oh, well, there goes the artwork. But sometimes, like, when I learn something new, I'll be like, oh, well, how can I apply that to this current piece that I'm working on? And sometimes it's totally normal to kind of fall out of it, you know, fall out of finishing it.
Yeah.
It was nice being with y'all. Thank y'all for inspiring us. I was happy to learn from y'all. Have a great evening. Bye. Bye-bye.
Awesome.
Thank you for your lovely comment. What, you want to wrap up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's my little mini.
That looks very, very nice.
Here's my little Minnie Mouse study. Minnie Mouse. All right. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Don't forget, we have classes coming up.
Yep.
We have a class coming up. There we go. Perspective Bootcamp class in the summer starting June 7th on Sundays. If you're interested in learning perspective and actually getting feedback on your work and getting better, doing something useful this summer, we have a perspective class that's running. Take a screenshot of this. It's going to be the red button on this page. You can go read all about it there. Lots of information on it. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
And you'll be meeting up on Zoom live every Sunday, and we'll be critiquing your work and giving you homework and doing lessons and stuff.
Yes. And then, of course, if you get it, you know, you get a little watercolor of your character.
Yep.
So, you know, DM me on Discord if that's what you want. Do
Yep.
That.
And if you're thinking about doing this, you need to do it soon because we're actually going to wrap up the watercolor promotion sometime pretty soon, probably in the next like week or two.
Yeah, we're not going to have this forever. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you.
So many buttons to click in order to end a stream, dude. Like 100 different buttons.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. baby Jack.
Little feet paws.
All right. Good night, everybody. See ya.
And bye.